We used to have to worry about big brands. Well, how can I sell a pet product when there's these huge CPG brands? I can move faster, I'm more nimble, I can adjust quicker, I can research things faster, and I can get to trends before they can.
Welcome to the B2B Breakthrough Podcast. We're here to bring you all the best knowledge, insights, and strategies from e-commerce experts, successful business owners, and the team at Alibaba.com that you'll need to grow your business and achieve your next big breakthrough. I'm your host, Sierra Cristo. Hey everyone, welcome back to B2B Breakthrough. It's time to talk deals. Right now, sourcing is tougher than ever. Between rising costs and supply chain headaches, business owners are feeling the pressure. And when sourcing gets complicated, it's not just frustrating, it's personal. That's why March Expo is such a big deal. It's Alibaba.com's biggest sourcing event of the year, packed with the year's best deals and faster product dispatch from trusted suppliers to make sourcing easier and less stressful. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about getting products. It's about running your business with confidence. Today, we'll talk about how we identify and track e-commerce trends for growing businesses to maximize profits with new products and strike a chord with your audience in the coming month. In one corner of the metaphorical ring, we've got Lulu from the category team here at Alibaba.com. These folks are like sourcing superheroes, industry experts in their respective verticals who stay on top of trends and keep strong connections with suppliers, making sure that you always have access to the best products. Lulu's ready to share her insights on the best deals and trending products on the platform.
Hello, everyone.
In the other corner, we've got e-commerce expert and seller, the Timstigator himself, Tim Jordan. Tim is an e-commerce expert, entrepreneur, and educator who's built and sold multiple brands, led the private label Legion community, and helps online sellers succeed. He's here to share with us his reactions and predictions for how to make your storefront shine for the spring and summer.
Thanks for having me.
Really happy to have you here. All right, guys. So let's talk March Expo and lay a quick foundation. Before we get into what categories are top performers and how to make those products work for your business, Lulu, can you tell us a little bit about how you on the category team identify trends on the platform? What do you look for when selecting products to be featured in an event like March Expo?
So in March Expo, actually, we are providing abundant promotion scenarios, including 7-day dispatch, Alibaba guarantee, up to 50% off, and new and noteworthy and certified selections. So there are a lot of promotional scenes that buyers could be guided to explore a very efficient sourcing journey. Buyers are looking for some hot products and expect a very quick arrival, like within 1 to 2 weeks. You definitely could choose products under 7-day dispatch, meaning the supplier will dispatch the products within 7 days after you place order, sometimes maybe within just 3 days. If you are looking for better assurance and the experience will be endorsed by our platform, then Alibaba Guarantee will be your best choice because you will be enjoyed with fixed price, guaranteed delivery schedule, and also trade assurance with easy return. So all of these services that would be helpful for you to experience a very easy and efficient sourcing journey, especially the logistics service.
So we're consolidating a bunch of great deals and services right under this one event, under all of these unique headers to make it as simple as possible to stock up and streamline the whole situation. But that said, even though everything is living in the same space and we've got these recommendations for what will sell well and have high profit margins, Tim, there's a little bit more to it than that and just selecting a product that's trending and selling it to folks. So can you talk to us about your philosophy to actually make a product successful and profitable on an online retail space?
That would be tough to share the whole philosophy in this short period of time. But let me first start off by giving a little bit of encouragement. There's never been a better time to grow a business, start a business, add more product lines than there is right now. There's really a couple ways that I look at my philosophy, two primary components. One is to outsell heavy competition, and the other one is to sell in a category with little to no competition. And what I mean by that is we don't actually sell products online. We sell keywords online, and those keywords are backed up by products. And what I mean by that is we primarily sell through marketplaces, online marketplaces that are search engines. So let's go down rabbit trail one, outselling your competition in a very competitive market. In the world of e-commerce that I come from, one of the most competitive markets by far is health and weight loss products. I have a friend who is the number one seller for many years online of foam back rollers. Well, it would be really easy to go to an online marketplace and see a million foam back rollers. There's a million. I think, how on earth could I sell that? Well, what's really cool is if it's a trending item, people are looking for it, there are ways to get in front of them and position yourself as a better alternative and take even a small percentage of a huge market. So if you ask me, hey, Tim, I want you to take the hottest trending item that, Alibaba.com has and tell me if it's competitive. I'm going to say, yes, it's competitive. There's a ton of people selling it. And you said, Tim, I need you to sell it right now. How would you do that? I would create a great branding package around it. I don't even have to create a full brand. I don't have to have huge online, offline presence, just great branding package. And I would lean on the authority and influence of other content creators. I wouldn't go out and create a Facebook page or a TikTok channel for that product. There's a million of those that already exist. And now there are platforms and facilities that help you connect with those creators and influencers that already have the followers and the followers trust. And I would work a deal with them and distribute it through their authority. The second rabbit trail that I like to go down is finding products that people want, but nobody's offering it or they can't find on the platforms they want. Now, the search volume of that will be lower. There are no products out there that 10 million people a day are searching for that aren't on a big marketplace. That's not in existence. But I have literally on my phone right now a list of about 20 different products that are on my to-do list to source through Alibaba. And even if there are not millions of people looking for it, that's fine. Because if there's a couple thousand people a month looking for it and I'm the only person that sells it, well, that's easy. My profit margin can be higher. I don't have to drive the price down to stay competitive. I can capture the entire market. So two very distinct paths. And both of those, I know a lot of people have been frustrated. Oh, Tim, I have this great product idea, but nobody wants it. Well, when you say nobody, you probably mean not millions, but would you sell 500 units a month at $20 profit each? Sure, do it and do that 20 times. Or, Tim, it's way too competitive. Everything's being sold, and say, you're not looking at all the nooks and crannies. You're not selling in all the corners. You're not leveraging all the resources that we have now to sell. So you need to look a little bit harder.
That's interesting. So I want to take a beat here and get us into some of these categories because, as we do this market research and understand what is being looked for and how to make it successful on your retail shop, it does change a little bit category to category and how we analyze it and how we identify those trends or those gaps in the market. So I want to kick us off here talking about fashion and accessories. Lulu, I know that this is your specialty. So can you take us through some of those overarching trends in the category and a couple of top products that are available during March Expo that small business owners and resellers can capitalize on? What are these top contenders for you?
So I think the trend here I'd like to highlight is we observed that there's a lot of online retailer or social influencers. They are also looking for personalized design with stonewashing, embroidery, digital printing to customize both logo and pattern or even shape. So this is a very important trend that our supplier keep evolving to provide the design or the tailored with small MOQ services. So the product example I'd like to share for women's dress, ladies are always following the trend, especially following the social media posting. So this year we see there's a very important trend under the spring and summer season, which is a new Bohemian style draped maxi dress. I'm not sure whether Tim can understand or feature in mind.
I know a lot of things about a lot of things, but I don't know very many things about women's fashion or dresses.
No worries, but Sarah knows what I'm talking about.
We'll share a reference.
So it's a very like a romantic dress with the maxi lens and made by lightweighted chiffon fabric. So it looks like very light and elegant. And this design actually aligns with the fashion trend and also trending in the social media and could be well fit for various occasions like vacation, party, dating. And most importantly, the MOQ is just 5 pieces. So this is a good choice for small online retailers to purchase and test the market for their business. So that is apparel products I'd like to share.
Wow. I just searched it and it is trending all over social media.
Yes, exactly.
That's how fast it was for me to figure this out. Wow.
Lulu knows what she's talking about.
Cool.
It's good stuff.
So let me add something to what Lulu just said. One of the things that trended really heavily on social media right after the Super Bowl, which is, like the largest TV event of the year in the US, was the artist, the performer during halftime was wearing bell-bottom jeans. And everybody went crazy. And now there are men all over the internet searching for men's bell-bottom jeans, and you can't find them. So you could even be expensive. And if you can get your hands on that product really fast and get it to market really fast, there is a absolute gold mine to be made. Every day in fashion, there's something that becomes desirable, something in demand. So if you're paying attention to what those trends are, to Lulu's point, fashion, especially textiles, are extremely simple to customize very quickly. You don't have to build a mold. You don't have to create some sort of tech behind it. You're not creating chips and boards and stuff. It's simple. If you have the manufacturing capabilities, which, Alibaba has the largest supplier of manufacturers, easily in the world for that type of thing.
It's funny you mentioned the Super Bowl and that trend in particular. Even beyond those who are watching the game or, who are actively trying to get into this market, the memes are all over the place about it. Like there will be a groundswell for anything that is remotely interesting or compelling in a pop cultural context. And the minute you see memes being made about it, I feel like that's a pretty good indicator that it's sticking around for a little while. So beyond just tuning into the Super Bowl, how can we get on top of that and really capitalize on a trend before everyone and their mother is selling bell bottoms on Etsy?
I'm going to give a controversial opinion.
Sure.
And one of those is to lean on suppliers because they are catching that stuff oftentimes before I am. And if I build a good relationship with them, they're going to clue me in on those things and realize that they need me as a partner, in marketing, and I need them as a partner in sourcing. So it's a great relationship. But that's one of my secret tips is use the research that other people are already doing and you can scale much faster.
Other people like Lulu here as well.
Like Lulu. Yeah, Lulu's entire job is tracking trends. And I've been saying this for years. Alibaba knows what's trending before anybody else knows what's trending because they're so tied in, one, with just normal SEO. So when all the brick and retail stores and boutique retailers of fashion are thinking, oh, I need to buy 10 chiffon Bohemian dresses, well, they go to Alibaba and they search for it. So if Alibaba sees, oh, this month we had this growth in this keyword search, well, they're going to start working with their suppliers and saying, hey, heads up, there's demand coming for this, start tooling up. And then 6 months later, all the consumers come in looking for it. And companies like Alibaba knew it was coming before it came, right? So all of that data is huge. Use it, take advantage of it. So nothing's arbitrary is my point. Like all of this is strategic and tactical and well thought out, and it's intelligently, developed by data. So when you go to the March Expo, event online, if you see something that's being featured on the front page, that is not chance, that's not luck. It was very specific. It was very intentional. And that was back on months of solid data from one of the largest data pools in the world. Use that as an insight into what you can be selling to a large consumer base.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Lulu's part of a bigger team here as well. We've got a lot of categories that are really heavily researched, and we're working for you, man. This isn't a trick. Lulu and her team are doing this research really heavily, and they've got a bunch of really good draft picks here, so to speak, for a couple other categories as well. So, Lulu, I want to come back to you and talk a little bit about pets, because accessories and grooming tools, all of these things for pets is a massive industry. So what is trending during March Expo that we can anticipate in the coming weeks?
First of all, I'd like to say I'm a pet person because I have 3 cats, my son.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so this is really my favorite topic to talking about pets. So I know in US market, actually the pets household penetration is the largest one around the world. According to Statista, the latest trend, the demand of smart pet products almost doubled versus last year. So we could see the trend is to make the pet's life better and healthier, just like human being. So the product example I'd like to highlight, one is the automatic smart cat litter box. I'm not sure whether you have experience having a cat. It's easier than dog. You don't need to walk her or him every day, but you need to clean up his or her toilets every day, even twice or 3 times. So with an automatic small cat litter box, actually it's easier, make it easier because This product I mentioned here has an advanced self-cleaning system and with very large liter capacity can be affordable for different size of the cat, like even the big cats with 10 kilogram. So the space is very comfortable for cats to do their business. And also with smart control options that you could set every mode based on your routine and schedule. And the price is also very amazing because in Alibaba.com, our B2B price, MOQ, just one piece, is just $100. So that is, I think, very amazing. And also it's a hot product at the upcoming March Expo.
And I had not thought about automatic dog feeders, but you said something in our add-on. You said, look, this is a way to make the lives of our furry friends better. Well, that's going back to emotional marketing, right? We want to make people's lives better and we feel better if our pets are happier. But also our lives are improved if we have one less thing to worry about, one less thing to think about, one less thing to do. I think about every morning when me and my wife are trying to get our young kids out to school and one of their chores is to feed our dogs. And every day I have to remember, did you feed the dogs? And they have to remember, did I feed the dogs? And they have to do it. And sometimes it's, we're getting in the car to go to school. I got to jump out. So my point is, that would be so easy to emotionally market. It's better for your pets. It's better for you. It's better for your sanity.
Yeah, the chain reaction there. I'm visualizing you fighting with your kids, getting out the door in the morning. Like that'll ruin your whole day if you didn't feed the dogs.
And you know what's really cool is a product like that can be an impulse purchase too.
Yeah.
Like just me saying that, thinking about every morning, how much time I have to spend making sure, well, I can go to Amazon, I can find it and I can hit one click, right? And I'm done. I put my phone down. I could have already bought it while we were talking. You don't even know it. It's that fast.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know we've got a couple other categories here that we want to get through. And another big one on Alibaba.com, and we know is also thriving on online marketplaces for consumers, is home and garden. So Lulu, tell us a little bit about what is trending in that space and where the opportunities are for small business owners.
We found that along with a very busy pace of life in the modern society, the pressure and anxiety from many aspects have invisible influence to people's life. So consumer actually looking for some emotional release and the healing economy becomes a trending market. So the product here I'd like to recommend is a magnetic levitation floating plant pots. So you could see it's a very futuristic and it's not utilizing a big space, just a very small space. And you could have a plant on your desk, but it's floating like 5 centimeter high, but looks very modern and futuristic and also bring lights in your view.
Very cool. Now, I mean, one thing that I'm thinking about as I look at this product, it's very futuristic looking. It's very sleek and exciting. But, you know, especially in this category, this is something that varies so significantly from different regions in the world, different markets. When IKEA came on the scene, you know, that's Swedish design, it's Scandinavian simplicity. And that's something that changes market to market. So how do you factor that into the research when it comes to identifying these trending products and what may be niche or highlighted in different regions for this category?
We found eco-friendly material and very simple style design, like the solid color and the material like using for the bedding as silk and also for the tableware using wheat straw. These kind of products are trending for European markets. Well, for Middle East, I think this is also a very important region that we could see because it's growing very fast. So high-end and kind of luxury style are more welcome in the region. So it's totally different with European markets. So we could find there's a lot of like very luxury design, the carpets, handmade carpets, and the gold-plated tableware. So it looks very fancy and kind of high-end.
The regional things are an interesting component because people love watching actions or trends or experiences in different regions. So I frequently find on my social media, entertainment stuff, I'm finding things like videos of people catching snakes in Burma or somebody skiing in Austria or a dance trend in Brazil, right? Like I'm intrigued by these things that I'm not familiar with. So even if a specific type of potting activity is only popular right now in Kenya, well, that's actually a bigger opportunity to get people excited to try it here because they've never seen it before. They've never done it before. And again, It improves their life because it makes them cooler because their friends have never seen that. So they come over, they're like, oh, this is Kenyan style, right? So Lulu, as you're talking about regional differences, my brain first was thinking, oh, well, that's going to limit our ability to sell certain things in certain places. But then I had to stop and remind myself, no, because of the way we market it, it's actually even a bigger opportunity.
Is the complexity of sourcing holding you back? Are you getting overwhelmed by information in an endless search? Now sourcing for your business has never been easier. Meet Axio, the world's first AI sourcing engine that helps you source like a pro with 5 key features. You'll get product inspiration that leverages real-time market data from comprehensive web insights, social media trends, and B2B knowledge. Generate detailed requirements to find the perfect match from AI-verified products and suppliers through Axio's multimodal search. Use Super Comparison to easily discover and compare millions of products from leading suppliers, focusing on the best-selling and most competitive options. With Axio Page, you'll get AI-generated encyclopedia pages that compile verified product information for each SKU. And finally, leverage Axio Agent to streamline negotiations with conversation guidance, real-time summaries, and direct answers about products and suppliers without having to browse detail pages. Head over to axio.ai today. That's ACCIO.ai to try Axio for free and start sourcing like a pro. So let's talk outdoor activities and sports. Spring's coming up, and we want to make sure that we are finding these opportunities to bring either a new sport or new activity or build on these growing trends that are not leaving us anytime soon. So, Lulu, what is happening in outdoor and sports that we should look out for?
Here, I'd like to talk about pickleball. So it's becoming very favored by not only individual players, but our B2B buyers, sports centers, teams, sporting goods stores. So there's a lot of buyers to buy pickleball related products. So the product example I'm going to share is pickleball rackets. So this one with very stylish and very appealing design. And the material is using lighter one, like the carbon fiberglass and various polymers. So it's very light and also with a silent honeycomb core so that it could absorb impact of vibration when hitting the boards and also reducing the noise. So it's easier to handle and to play. While the MOQ starts from one piece and price around $30 and could be customized with logo. So this is also, I think, a good choice for small buyer in the sports industry.
Now, one thing that I think about with pickleball is it really blew up a few years ago now. And so it's not new on the scene, but knowing that it's not going anywhere, how do you take advantage of that opportunity before it's kind of burnt out and lost its spark?
According to best data we have, the US population right now is around 340 million people. Approximately 40 million adults have played pickleball at least once in the past 12 months. So around 14% of the US population or less than has engaged in playing pickleball. If it trended and it's still popular, it's because it's good. So don't think that something like pickleball that's already been around means that, we've missed the opportunity. I will say though, because it's been around and because it's so popular, you have to outthink your competitors. You can't just play follow the leader. You can't do the same thing that everybody else has done and expect to find success. You actually have to take more steps. You have to outwork, you have to outthink, you have to out-research your potential competitors. If you do that, it is worth it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Like, don't get in this mindset of thinking, well, that's too competitive or that's too difficult or I can't do that. There are people every day that make a ton of money selling products, and it is some of the dumbest products I've ever seen in the most saturated markets I've ever seen, and they figured out a way to do it a little bit different and tap into an immensely large market with some small opportunities that become enormous wins.
And now I do want to wrap this up with our final category here. I want to talk about beauty trends because this is one that does change year to year pretty significantly. This is a tough one to stay on top of and to make sure that you are being as relevant as possible for your audience. So what is happening in beauty?
So I'm not going to talk about skincare, which is one of the key products in the beauty industry, but the hair wig actually is still top of the category at Alibaba.com. And recently we found there's a very important trend starting from last year is synthetic hair wig is growing faster because it's much more approachable in terms of the price than human hair. So this is one trend, depends on the material. And another trend is we found the glue-free wig sets is getting much more popular. So you just no need to glue the wig on your head, but just wear it directly.
Now, beauty is a broad category, covering, you mentioned skincare, you mentioned hair. There's a lot of different places we can go in this conversation. And I think one thing that we talk a lot about with entrepreneurs is there's folks who are developing their own formulas for the actual products themselves. And there's a huge market to make sure that you are staying up to date with trends as far as their packaging and how they look on the shelves. And so I know that there are a couple of products also available during March Expo that you highlighted that are a great opportunity to present your product really beautifully to the world in the beauty space. So what are those products?
We found that eco-friendly packaging actually is gaining more consumer preference. And according to the survey, the beauty consumers are even willing to pay higher price to have the products with sustainable packaging, like glasses, recycling glasses, and the bamboo lid. So this is a very important trend because, for skincare products, glass material is a very traditional and very environmental friendly packaging material. But a weakness is it's very heavy. And also in terms of the transportation, because of the carbon release, the carbon footprint is not very environmental healthy. So our supplier actually following the trend is driving innovation to improve the manufacturing process in order to reduce the weight of the glass bottle or glass packagings and also to reduce the transportation cost as well as a carbon footprint so that it will also benefit to our buyers to have lower price on these products.
Now, Tim, I want to talk to you a little bit about, how to position products like this in your storefronts. Now, I know we're talking about these as more containers than the product itself, but the beauty industry is a over $500 billion industry, and about half of the consumers in this space exercise brand loyalty. It's huge for them. So as you're trying to compete in this space, how can retailers and resellers be competitive knowing that the consumer is generally particular about the products that they're using on their hair, skin, nails, et cetera?
Well, there is this little word I like to use called value, brand perception, and even perceived value. So the way to catch people's eyes is through perceived value. And your packaging, your messaging, your marketing is insanely important. If you look at iPhones figured out a long time ago that people want an unboxing experience. They went from, $2 a box to $8 a box for a $2,000 phone. Not a big difference. But people started posting videos of opening the boxes of these iPhones. Like, people want that experience. Now, does the box of the iPhone make the iPhone better? No, but there is a perceived value because the experience of going through that. So when you add a lot into your perceived value through packaging, through branding, through marketing, not only do you get consumers more excited, but you get, to purchase that product thinking it's higher value, you can raise your price, right? Because not everybody wants to buy the cheapest makeup. People want to buy middle of the road makeup. You're willing to spend a few dollars extra for better, even if it's just perceived to be better. But when you do that, you also get publications, you get bloggers, you get influencers more interested in your products. So do your homework, invest in your branding through your packaging, and that's how you set yourself apart largely in cosmetics.
We've covered a lot of ground here, so I want to wrap up with a couple of overarching reflections. And Lulu, I'll start with you. Can you narrow this down for everyone to a top do and don't as you're sourcing this season?
Okay, so for do, I think it's to pay attention to March Expo, the promotional scenarios we prepared for you, especially for the product labeled with like Alibaba guaranteed 7-day dispatch, so that to enjoy a more efficient sourcing journey. And for the don'ts, I think it's very simple. Don't make your decision only based on price comparison because price somehow vary in quality and services. So just do your study and follow our guide.
All right, great. So we'll follow the guidelines on the website for finding the best price in MOQs, but also we're looking out for words like Alibaba guaranteed, 7-day dispatch, customization, the certifications you're looking for, MOQs, all the good stuff. Awesome. That's really helpful. Now, Tim, yours is a little bit more complicated here because I know we're coming up against some pretty significant inflation challenges. The economy is a tough one to contend with right now. So with inflation impacting cash flow for small business owners and access to capital, how can the small business owner stay financially stable and decide how to pass off expenses to maybe the end consumer in their strategizing as they're bringing new products into their business?
So I have a lot of thoughts about this, and most of them are positive. Look, we know that inflation is happening. We know that the world of import and export, is changing and could be changing. But that, to me, is an opportunity because every time there's a bad headline out there or a scary headline, that just means that a lot of my competitors are going to quit. Everything adjusts, like don't panic, keep going, but let other people panic as your competitors because that gives more opportunities for you. You can adjust faster. And look, this is crazy to think about, but those of you that are probably listening, the small business owners, the entrepreneurs, the hustlers, we can move faster and make more adjustments than anybody, right? We used to have to worry about big brands. Well, how can I sell a pet product when there's these huge CPG brands? I can move faster. I'm more nimble. I can adjust quicker. I can research things faster, and I can get to trends before they can. So as everybody else is worried about these big scary terms like inflation or shipping slowdowns or problems, I just smile and I let everybody worry about that except for me. And I continue to find ways to innovate and find my niches and find new ways to market, new ways to sell, and new ways to brand because more people are buying products from small businesses, especially through commerce, every day than they ever have in the history of man. So big opportunities out there. Don't freak out. Just do your homework, do your research, measure twice and cut once, as my old grandfather used to say. And just get in there and get your hands dirty, get your feet wet, and just start if you haven't started.
I love it. That's great. All right. Well, that's really encouraging information to hear, especially when everything seems really scary and alarmist in headlines across publications right now. But I think there's a lot for us to work with, and there's some great opportunities for small business owners and resellers to take advantage of in the next month. So this is awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lulu and Tim. You are both a delight to chat with, and I can't wait to see you soon.
All right. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
B2B Breakthrough is produced by Alibaba.com. To find out how Alibaba.com is empowering its customers with the tools, services, and resources they need to grow their business, visit Alibaba.com. And then make sure to search for B2B Breakthrough on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you find your podcasts. Make sure to follow us so you don't miss future episodes. On behalf of the team here at Alibaba.com, thanks for listening.